As the June 28th release date for Super Mario Maker 2 creeps ever so closer and closer, there are many mysteries surrounding the game that fans still want answers to. As with the build-up process to almost every Nintendo game out there amplified further when it's part of a series like Mario, there are things that fans speculate about before the game's release, because their curiosity is piqued and they're very excited about the potential of this new game that they'll be playing. As with most consumers, when you're going to buy something, you're going to want to know as much about the product as possible before you purchase it, in order to ensure that it's the quality that you wanted. And for Super Mario Maker 2, this is definitely no different. Today I'll be going over 10 of the most popular mysteries that fans have been wondering about. These 10 mysteries that I'm going to be talking about today range from new features that could potentially be included into the game to the lasting impact that the game will have. These are just generally things fans are wondering about Mario Maker 2. And no, I'm not just going to be listing the mysteries, I'm going to try to solve them by analyzing each situation individually and determining whether or not a new feature is likely or unlikely to be in the game, in my opinion. And before we get started, if you're new here, I'd really recommend subscribing and ticking the bell icon so that you do not miss any new videos about Mario Maker 2 when I release them. And with that being said, let's get started. The first mystery that fans are really wondering about Mario Maker 2 is whether or not there will be new themes included inside of the game. This is something that I've speculated about in multiple videos before, one talking about Mario Odyssey as a potential theme idea, and another talking about a theme surrounding Mario 64. In both of those previous videos, I've gone over ideas related to that theme specifically on whether or not it has a chance to be included in the game, but right now I wanted to talk about this from a general perspective. Every single day we pass now, June 28th becomes closer and closer, meaning that Nintendo will have less time to reveal new themes in a big way before the game comes out. It's uncertain at this point whether or not we're going to be getting a new Nintendo Direct before E3, and as each day passes, it keeps getting less and less likely. And if we make it to E3 without any new information for new game themes being introduced into Mario Maker 2, I highly doubt they're going to reveal one there, just because of how close the date of E3 is to the date that Mario Maker 2 will be coming out. I just don't think there's enough time there to really build up that anticipation and make this announcement as big as it could potentially be if it was revealed in April or May. Just think about how many people would be insanely excited if a Super Mario Odyssey theme was included in Mario Maker 2. People would go crazy over that, but if they're going to reveal it 2 weeks before the game comes out, yeah, there's going to be a short burst of hype there, but are people really going to change their minds on whether or not they're going to buy Mario Maker 2 that close to its release? Don't you think it's better to set people on a path to wanting to buy a product more in advance? So whether or not I think there's going to be a new theme, I'm going to say it's unlikely. I think the inclusion of the 3D World theme really makes sense because 3D World is probably the closest 3D Mario game to the style of the 2D titles. A large criticism of 3D World and its 3DS counterpart Super Mario 3D Land is that they're more level-based 3D Mario games as opposed to more of the open-ended sandbox-style Mario games where you could do different missions at your own pace like Odyssey and Mario 64. Some people do like the style of 3D World and 3D Land though. I get a lot of people talking in the comments section of these videos about which style that they prefer. But because Super Mario 3D World's gameplay style is so close to how the 2D Mario games operate, it would make sense for it to be the only theme included. So yes, I do think there's a possibility for new themes, but I'm going to go with unlikely on this one. And because I was just talking about Super Mario 3D World, I might as well move on to this next mystery within this video related to 3D World. And does this 3D World theme mean that there will be a future port of Mario 3D World to the Nintendo Switch? The idea of porting Wii U games to the Nintendo Switch is a very polarizing topic. On the one hand, the Nintendo Switch is outselling the Wii U, and there's many people who own a Switch who haven't owned a Wii U and haven't got a chance to play some of the great quality games that were on the Wii U. So for that audience, it makes sense to port these games over. But the other side of the debate is that these ports are effectively replacing the amount of new games that we could be getting on the Switch, because Nintendo's development resources should be more focused on creating new content as opposed to bringing old content over. I see both sides of this argument, and this is where Super Mario 3D World comes into play. Nintendo already ported over the Wii U New Super Mario Bros. Title with the release of New Super Mario Bros. U and New Super Luigi U in the form of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, another Mario Wii U title, has already been ported from the Wii U to the Nintendo Switch. And might I add, there's also Captain Toad levels in Super Mario 3D World. So all the signs seem to be pointing on a 3D World port to the Nintendo Switch. However, recently there's been less and less announcements of new games being ported to the Nintendo Switch from the Wii U, and it's seeming like Nintendo might be done with this. So because of that, I'm gonna go maybe on this one, in between likely and unlikely, because there are many strong arguments on both sides of the debate. I made a full video on this topic if you're interested, but that's the gist of the argument right there. The next mystery that some fans are wondering about is, will there be limitations for player numbers and levels that you can set? What I mean by this is when you post a level online in the original Super Mario Maker, it's just automatically set for one player because there's only one player who has the ability to play the game. However, for Super Mario Maker 2, it keeps looking like there's going to be multiplayer in the game, considering all the other characters that are shown in the promotional artwork helping to build levels. And so, if multiplayer is integrated into this game, then what if you upload a level online that isn't designed for 2 or 3 or 4 players? It's only designed for 1. Will you be able to set the limitation when you post your level online of only allowing one person to play this level? Or if you would like the opposite situation to occur, you would want this level designed for 3 players, for example, because you need that amount of people to get through the level. And in terms of whether or not I think this is likely to happen, I'm gonna say likely on this one, because I don't think it would make a lot of sense for you to be able to just beat your level with 2 players when you test it out and then upload it online and then find out that only one person playing the level is not able to clear it. So limitations would definitely be a good feature for them to add, and I think that they will add this. The next mystery that fans are wondering about is, will the objects shown in the 3D world theme be exclusive to it? One of the greatest features in the original Super Mario Maker that appears to be carrying over to Super Mario Maker 2 is that you could design a level in one theme and then switch over to another game theme, and then the level will be recreated within that theme, say switching from Super Mario Bros. 3 to the new Super Mario Bros. Style, for example. However, throughout the trailers and promotional artwork for Super Mario Maker 2, it appears that many of the objects within the 3D world theme have not been seen in some of the previous game themes, leading some fans to believe that the 3D world theme will be separate from the rest of them and that you cannot convert levels between the 3D world theme to the other game themes. You'll have to make your entire level from scratch within 3D World. It would kind of be a disappointment if this was true, because I would love to see some of the objects within 3D World converted over into some of the other themes, but I do see why Nintendo would design it this way. It'd be much easier to just design this specifically for one theme and not have to recreate all this stuff within the previous themes that was not in those games originally. In terms of whether or not I think all these objects are going to be exclusive to the 3D World theme, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say likely on this one. The next mystery that some fans are wondering about, and this one isn't as popular as some of the other ones that I'm going to be talking about in this video, but it is still brought up from time to time. Will Peachette be included in this game? When the new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe game was released in January, many fans were shocked that a character known as Peachette, who had never been seen before, was included inside of it. This character can be obtained when you're playing as Toadette throughout the game, and you get the Super Crown item, and it'll transform you into Peachette. Of course, when a new Mario character is seen, or in this case, a variant of an existing character, it causes an uproar, and some people are polarized on both sides of whether or not they like it or don't like it. Toadette is seen in some promotional artwork for Super Mario Maker 2, along with some other characters that fans would assume to be playable, considering that they're in promotional artwork for it. Why would Nintendo show Toadette in artwork if she's not going to be playable? And if Toadette is going to be playable, wouldn't it make sense to bring over one of her defining traits from New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe into Mario Maker 2? It would be very interesting if this ability was included for Toadette, because then you could have an entire other subsection of levels built specifically for this character. Levels built around the Super Crown concept, and Peachette would be pretty interesting to see because of the different mechanics of the character. However, despite all this information, I'm still going to say unlikely on this one, considering that the new Super Mario Bros. U theme can be converted between the other ones, and then if Toadette is included in here, you would probably have to convert the crown power-up over to the other themes as well, and I just don't see Peachette being included in the original Super Mario Bros. Style. I can't really envision that happening, so I'm just going to go unlikely on it. The next mystery that fans are wondering about is, will Wii U levels be accessible within the game? There are so many amazing levels that have been created throughout the course of Super Mario Maker's existence that fans are going to want to play for themselves. They're going to want to relive the fun experiences that they've had within some of the famous levels from Mario Maker. But at this point, it's unknown whether or not you're going to be able to access the original levels within Mario Maker 2. Will Nintendo be able to connect the servers between the Wii U and the Switch to allow players to access the original levels from Super Mario Maker and potentially download them and modify them with the new features that are included within the game? Some of the new enemies and items would be interesting to add to some of our original levels, but that will only be able to be done if Wii U levels are accessible. However, this might not happen because Nintendo may just want to promote Super Mario Maker 2 as its entirely new identity and if you're going to be doing that, it wouldn't make sense to allow players to access levels from the original game if you want to keep this more separate. I'm gonna go maybe on this one because I could see Nintendo doing something like this that the fans would really like, but I also don't know how likely that is. The next mystery that some fans are wondering about is, will there be more power-up related enemy variants like the ones that we've already seen within the game? Some examples of power-up enemy variants that we've seen so far are the Fire Bro, Fire Piranha Plant, Cat Bullet Bill, and some others that I'm probably forgetting, but there are other power-ups found within Super Mario Maker 2 that could be implemented into the enemies. For example, a Goomba with the raccoon tail on it appears in Super Mario 3D Land because Nintendo brought back the Super Leaf for that game from Mario 3. And while 3D Land isn't a theme within Mario Maker 2, Super Mario Bros. 3 is, the game that introduced the Tanuki Leaf. So in that theme, would you be able to put a Super Leaf on a Goomba and then create a Raccoon Goomba or a Tail Goomba, whatever you want to call it? It'd be very interesting if new power-ups were implemented into the enemies like this. We're already seeing you able to create some famous enemy variants from Mario's past, but maybe some more obscure ones could be included, like the example that I just mentioned. I am confident that we are going to be seeing more power-up enemy variations within Mario Maker 2 because I believe that there's so many creative possibilities that Nintendo wants to tap into here. I'm gonna go likely on this one. The next mystery that fans are wondering about is, will level sizes be able to extend vertically? Vertical levels is one of the most highly requested features after the original Mario Maker released, especially in the build up to Super Mario Maker for the 3DS, where many fans thought that Nintendo was gonna add in many new things there and they ended up not doing that. So for the build up of Mario Maker 2, those requests are back. But will they be fulfilled? Evidence within the trailers has been examined by many Nintendo fans, including myself, but nothing appears to be definitive yet. There's nothing that you can look at through the promotional material yet and say, yes, this is confirmed, we are going to be getting larger levels in terms of a vertical scale within this game. There just hasn't been yet. And who knows, maybe it's just not the default level setting that could be extended. Maybe you could choose to entirely flip the scale for these levels, and instead of making the verticality 2 screens high, you can make it horizontally 2 screens wide, and then the length of your level could be customized vertically like that to give you a much taller level, but a less wide level. Only time will tell on whether or not this gets confirmed, but I'm gonna go unlikely on this feature for now. Even though I really would like it to be in the game, I just feel that they probably would have shown it by now if it was going to be included. Maybe they're saving it for later, but I highly doubt it. The next mystery that fans are wondering about is, what is this car that the Koopa Troopa is driving in the promotional artwork? If you haven't seen this before, it's basically just a Koopa Troopa driving along the level, and many Nintendo fans, when speculating about what this is, brought up that this could be possibly the Yoshi/Karibo shoe replacement for the 3D World theme. We haven't seen gameplay of this car feature yet, but we do know that it is in the 3D World style, and we haven't seen Yoshi or the Karibo shoe within the 3D World style, so this could potentially be the new thing that you could hop in. But as shown with the Koopa Troopa, enemies can clearly be placed in the car, so you'd probably have to knock out the Koopa Troopa before Mario takes it over, or whoever you're playing as. It'd be very interesting to put a character like Bowser inside of this car because you'd be able to recreate that famous boss fight from Super Mario 3D World. It would be pretty fun. And the final mystery that I want to go over in this video is whether or not there will be more win conditions within Mario Maker 2. The win condition of reaching the flagpole has been within 2D Mario games forever, and it was shown in the original Super Mario Maker 2 trailer that a coin requirement for the level could be another win condition as well. But what other ones could they add? An idea for a win condition that I have is if you defeat a certain amount of enemies within the level. You'd be able to just make this general enemies, or you could choose a specific subset of enemy that you'd be able to find and defeat. One way that you'd be able to make it interesting when designing the level is you'd have to defeat a certain amount of Paragoombas, and then the level would be filled with a certain amount of regular Goombas as well, and some people may get confused when they stomp on that one, realizing that it's not the one that they're actually supposed to defeat. Another idea for a win condition is one that's actually seen frequently throughout the Mario series, unlike the one that I just mentioned, and this is defeating a boss. Now, you've already been able to put keys inside of bosses and then unlock a door, which could potentially lead to a flagpole to sort of allow bosses to be the win condition in the original Mario Maker, but I do believe that it would be better off if you just make it a solid win condition for defeating the boss that you set. but I'm gonna go likely on this one because I think Nintendo could introduce many more win conditions that would make a lot of sense, and I'm sure you have lots of ideas for new win conditions in the comment section down below, so I encourage you to leave some down there. I always read through the comments and I'm encouraged to see what you've come up with. And with that all being said, those are my thoughts on 10 mysteries that fans have been wondering about concerning Super Mario Maker 2. Don't worry, there's going to be lots of content about Mario Maker 2 coming very soon, so remember to subscribe and click the bell icon so that you don't miss it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.